Well. We are live, coming at you live here on Henny for Your Thoughts. Come on in, ladies and gentlemen. Come on in. Come on in, my people. Come on in. Come on in, my people. Something we saw that was very disturbing. What in the world is going on with the Pharaoh that be young? What in the world is going on with the Pharaoh that be young? You all see the thumbnail. I'm coming on this channel to say what's good with the people. And wondering if you've known what in the world is going on. Maybe someone could help me explain some things. Welcome to the good life. Welcome indeed. There has to be some explaining out here. I don't quite understand what was happening in this preview. This young man named Young Pharaoh and his tongue situation. Young Pharaoh's talk of being abducted by aliens. I can't call it. But what in the world, ladies and gentlemen, is going on? This guy, Young Pharaoh, is disturbing some people.
I think that y'all are not aware of certain shit.
And see,
I got abducted before by extraterrestrials.
What?
Do you believe that? Look me in my eyes.
What the fuck?
Look me in
No,
my eyes.
absolutely
Look
fucking
me in
not,
my
because you're
eyes.
still here on
Look
the
me in my
internet
eyes.
raising hell.
Look me in
No.
my eyes.
No.
And tell me I'm lying.
You're lying.
That's the problem. I'm aware of something you're not.
He's aware of something that she's not, and he ends up sticking the tongue out at her. Look at this, y'all. That tells the story right there. Look at that tongue. And I got to do my own little impersonation real quick. This brother was like, he was like, look at my eyes. Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes. And tell me you don't believe me. Look at me deep in my eyes. Tell me you don't believe me what I'm saying. It's like he was using his tongue to get a feeling of whether or not she's going to believe him. He's using his tongue to get a feeling of her aura. Trying to put her in some sort of a trance. Look me deep in my eyes and tell me you don't believe me about me being abducted. Look me deep in my eyes. What was going on right there, ladies and gentlemen?
We're gonna see though.
What's up with your tongue? Why you always doing your tongue like this?
I don't know, part of my personality. I like to flick my tongue out. Part of my swag. Part of my micro expression. I don't know.
He said licking his tongue at her regularly is part of his swag. Again, this hasn't been something he's been doing since the beginning. Part of his personality, a microaggression. That's what he called it.
But I'm aware of eyes.
No.
And tell me I'm lying.
You're lying.
That's the problem. I'm aware of something you're not. We're gonna see though.
What's up with your tongue? Why you always doing your tongue like this?
I don't know, part of my personality. I like to flick my tongue out. Part of my swag. Part of my micro expression. I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm aware of something on the I'm aware of shit.
So tell me what happened when you were abducted before we move on.
I told your story like 5 times already.
Okay, I haven't heard this particular story. I'm sure my viewers haven't heard it.
Right now.
Okay, tell me.
I was on a table, and my body was on the table.
Okay.
And I was on a ship, and it was all metal like a spoon.
So this guy's on a ship, and it was all metal like a spoon. He talks about his experience as an abductee, being abducted by aliens. Now, listen, ladies and gentlemen, Henny, for your thoughts. We want to know what exactly you think about this type of thing. Have you ever heard of anyone being abducted by aliens? One thing that's interesting is looking at some of the comments in Tasha K's video, as these people in the comments were trying to understand also, like, where is this dude coming from talking about this alien abduction, being taken by aliens? And I think he called one of them masculine at one point. Hold on.
And I was looking down on my body, and my body was like chest down, looking at the back of my head, and there was some beings operating on my 33rd vertebrae, and it felt like it felt like when you take two wires and you touch them, and they kept going like that with my nerve. I don't know what it was. Don't have me get the line, but it was right here, and it was, I could look all around me, but I couldn't look to the right. It was a being right here to the right, but it didn't look like near you. I don't know what the fuck it was, but it was whatever it was. It was a masculine being, and it was talking to me telepathically.
There was a masculine being that he said had abducted him. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Henny, for your thoughts here. We're not gonna tell people that they didn't experience what they experienced. We're not in the business of telling people that what they saw or whatever they dreamed about did not happen. We're not in that business, ladies and gentlemen. But we also are in the business of trying to understand what in the world, or trying to interpret maybe what that person may be talking about, because this is something new. This is something different. This is something that you don't hear all the time, although many people in conscious community, they claim to have a connection with the Most High. They claim having connections of a higher consciousness. So maybe this was his way of saying he was tapping into his higher frequency or higher self. But check out this other little bit of information, ladies and gentlemen, because like I said, in the comments, you have people saying all types of shit. One person in the comments said, Satan is busy. These demonic spirits on the loose, shaking my head. People are like, you got to stay prayed up. People are like, there is no Satan. People need to stop saying that. And then some people say, I just said this. He is demon possessed and he doesn't know it. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this other comment. That's the part that got me. Anything that comes in the name or in the will of God will always identify itself. Light had no heed to hide, conceive, or deceive. Only those operating in darkness do. When he said that this alien would not identify itself, that it asked him for permission, and after they fixed him, he was now able to channel things. I already knew this was something demonic. What he's doing with his tongue is only confirmation of that. But sadly, because so many are lost and consider New Age philosophy to be higher consciousness, are astral projecting and doing other things that open these doors. He won't be the last to end up like this.
And they told me it was the captain of the ship. This is a true ass story. And they told me it was the captain of the ship. And I asked the being, like, it wouldn't identify itself though. When I asked specific questions like, where you from? It didn't answer. When I asked him, like, what you doing? We're like, what are you doing to my body? And it was like, we fixing you. And the being asked me for my permission. I gave him my permission. And then it kept touching. It kept going like this with my spine. And I kept feeling my pain increase. And I remember I was just gritting my teeth like, and it was, they say they were strengthening my nervous system so that I could channel. And I believe that because I do channel. But it was clicking me like this. And I remember the pain was increasing and the being kept communicating with me like, are you okay? Can we keep going? And I kept saying, yeah, I could take it. And I was trying to be tough and take the pain. And I remember the pain got so excruciating.
This sounds kind of strange if a guy's sitting here talking about, yeah, I can take it, I can take it. Give me some more. I could take it, I could take it. Give me some more. I don't exactly know what that means. He's talking about this being is asking for permission. He's allowing the being to go ahead and do what it's doing, opening up his energy to this being, and this being is doing all these different things to him, and he's taking the pain. Take that, take that, take that, so that he can channel. Now, somebody in the chat, please let me know what it means to channel. Does anyone know what it means if someone claims to be able to channel? What does that mean? As you know, when most people think of a channel, they think of a television, they think of a radio. You can turn to the next channel and you can get certain programming on these different channels. But I wonder if anyone in the chat or the comments can let us know, what does it mean to be able to channel? Somebody should be able to explain it, and I'm curious to see what it is you come up with. What do you think, North Carolina music? What in the world does that mean, to be able to channel something?
I just came back to my body, and it ain't brought me back.
Do you believe that maybe you probably
Hell no, that wasn't.
had a hallucination due to all the books you were overloading your mind with? All right, Wills, I am so sorry.
Books he's been overloading his mind with. Who knows what the issue is? She's not going directly to drugs, but some people in the chat, in the comments, are like, Pharaoh is gone. He didn't used to be like this. A lot has changed. Adriana's report says, I'm not trying to doubt his experience, but that definitely sounds like an experience on DMT or mushrooms, right? But ladies and gentlemen, he's been telling this abduction story for some time. This is not the first time he told this abduction story. And I'm just waiting for someone in the chat to type, what does it mean to be able to channel? Help us out, ladies and gentlemen. Help us out. Because there's also another explanation about this whole alien abduction. Some people believe in what they're saying, and we have to give them that belief, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of tongue waving, a lot of tongue wagging that he does at her, at the camera. Someone says, thank you for asking about that tongue, shaking my head. He gives straight homosexual vibes, which is why he's always bringing up homosexuality every chance he get when he's not downing the black woman. Very interesting that they connect his tongue usage with homosexuality. And we're going to touch on that for a second. Because being abducted by aliens is not your everyday story. Some people saying everything this man is saying is true. When shit hits the fan, those of you who are non-believers are going to suffer. The chat is very interesting. One young lady says, I'm very uncomfortable watching this man do what he's doing with his tongue. He has lost all of his mind. Some people are saying his drinking or the weed was laced. This other young lady is like, what in the python spirit is going on? What in the python spirit is going on? Now, another person in the comments is suggesting that you people read the book of Enoch. If you ever read the book of Enoch, they're saying it may be connected to this behavior. Another person in the comments is saying something is very off-putting about his energy now. And I agree with that. Another person said, sounds like this dude gave up his soul and they came back to collect through possession of his body for the riches he received. The veil between the world The between the worlds is definitely thin. Another person, I definitely believe him. Ladies and gentlemen, there may be another explanation. Out of body experience. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Because some people are saying that the same spirits he has channeled have turned on him. This person in the comments said, I believe he has been in touch with the fallen angels, which this world system calls aliens. He denied the Most High and has a reprobated mind. And still, I'm waiting for anyone in the chat to explain what does it mean for someone to say, I channel. When you are able to channel something, I guess, or someone, I don't know. What does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? When young Pharaoh says, I can channel, and he had this experience with the aliens so that he can channel, that he says. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to talk about this alien abduction. You've heard it. You've heard it here or there. You've heard it everywhere. Another person says the tongue movements, his tongue, are extrapyramidal symptoms, which are the common side effects of psychiatric medication. He seems like an intelligent man, and people are wishing him well. But let me repeat that. The tongue movements, they're calling it dystonia, extrapyramidal symptoms, which are common side effects of psychiatric medication. Ladies and gentlemen, we still have to talk about this abduction as we look in the chat to see if anyone has answered. What does it mean to be able to channel? And do you think that that is such a thing? Another person in the comments says, wow, he is unraveling. I haven't watched him in almost a year. I'm saddened by what he's been going through recently. I still don't know everything about his demise. Get it together, strong king. Ladies and gentlemen, he has been saying he was abducted by aliens over a half a decade ago, if not longer. He's been talking about the abduction of aliens for a long time. What's up, y'all? And here Tasha K is almost sacrificing herself. She's opening herself up to these energies of young Pharaoh and various people she's interviewing. And she may need a shaman. She may need some sage. She may need Palo Santo sticks at some point to just deal with the energy, Because people are saying young Pharaoh is now one of the lizard people. One of the lizard people. And Tasha K was trying to be generous or kind by saying he was hallucinating based on all the books he's been reading that's been overloading his mind. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have to talk about the abduction because there may be another explanation of being abducted by aliens. If it's happened to you, let it be known in the chat. Because someone in the comments has said, I believe young Pharaoh. I had a similar experience that was never believed when I told it. I wanted to be hypnotized to see if I can somehow go back into that memory. Other people are saying this guy is blazed out of his mind or high. They're calling him demonic in this video, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what I'm trying to get at is the other explanation about being abducted. This is another person in the comments that said, he ain't lying. But see, that's what happens when you aren't protected by the Holy Spirit. You are distant from God and serving all those other gods and demonic entities. Yes, all doors of darkness and the other realms will be opened. This person said, I've had an outer body experience myself where I was somewhere else and came across that being all the scientists speak of as an alien or reptilians. Yes, those things are real as fuck. And traveling or channeling is real. But it ain't meant for us to tap into. God doesn't permit that. But we as humans with free will make the wrong choices. When you are closer to God, he protects you from all those things so they cannot touch you. That's one comment. Anyone has ever touched on the channeling? Here it is. Some person says, Good Life says, I think channeling may mean connection and being submissive to that energy. Interesting. Another person says, channeler definition is a person who conveys thoughts or energy from a source believed to be outside the person's body or conscious mind. Wow. I'm starting to get an idea now. Okay. I think I've seen some instances of this so-called channeling thing, and I believe actors may tap into this. They want to channel or act as the physical body for some other character, some other person, some other spirit, right? When you're trying to get into character, there may be another kind of channeling, maybe. He's always done the weird tongue stuff. That is definitely true. It seems to be extra these days, though. It seems to be a little extra. Now, we have to get into the alien abduction because I'm telling you, I saw something in these comments. That kind of blew my mind. Some people in the comments are saying he has been compromised. They're saying, another person saying, it's not drugs, it's not mushrooms, it's not laced weed, it's not fentanyl and heroin mixed together. It's a mental illness. It's deeper. It's almost demonic, she says. She says, we have to be careful when we open our spirit to certain portals. It welcomes certain entities and beings that are nothing like us humans, especially when we have no spiritual protection. I'm sure Philly Bruja knows a little bit about some of this channeling business, but she's trying to be shy. She's trying to hold back because I think I've heard about it. Another person in the comments says young Pharaoh has an overbite. He also got grills in his mouth. The grills keep his mouth open even more, even with his overbite. He licks his tongue out frequently because his lips may get dry. We love young Pharaoh over here. Shout out to that commenter. And another person said, I had a dream where this person was speaking to me telepathically. It was someone I had never seen before, and they were angry at someone I knew and came to me looking for them. I know the dream was spiritual now, and it was a warning that trouble was up ahead. Never had a dream like that before or since. It was powerful, though. Another person agreeing or understanding where young Pharaoh is coming from. Another person say, hey, man, his mouth is probably dry. And another person says, this is an empty shell being occupied by other beings. Wow. Another person said, first of all, this dude is a whole cringe. Secondly, this hot mess is unmatched. Another person said, something is really wrong with him. Shout out to Nicole the Alchemist. Something is really wrong with him. It's very disturbing. He was never like this. I understand people change, but this change isn't for the best at all. He's gone. Another person said PCP, angel dust, embalming fluid. Bro must have been dipping and tripping. He'd like to flip his tongue out. These idol worshipers full of demons. Demons don't identify themselves, but angels do. He needs deliverance. Ladies and gentlemen, there's another comment or two here that basically explains that this talk about being abducted by aliens is really code word or another way of saying he may have been he may have been raped at some point. And that there are other stories out here where people are trying to talk about aliens, but what they're really doing is talking about a possible raping that may have happened. And if he's been telling this whole story about alien abduction the whole time, that it must have been right after he got out of prison that he started telling the story on YouTube. So I wonder if we ask young Pharaoh, how old was he when he had his first vision of being abducted by aliens? Since he's been telling that story for a while. Dr. Da Costa says the abductions that he is speaking of are real. Research shows thousands report this every year, but people tend to make fun or discredit them. Another person, Crystal Love, says he not lying. I was on a ship too, except I was with Archangel Michael. Sounds like he was abducted by the Greys. And you may hear Del Goddess, you may hear other people speaking about the Greys. That's why I'm afraid of this. This person says, that's why I'm afraid of the vaccine shot. I really feel like it's a DNA search and seizure. A DNA search and seizure. See? I'm going to stay far away from it. Check this out. Another person says, this is deep. He's under demonic possession. This is what happens when you dip and dab into yoga, which I haven't experienced this, and I dib and dab into yoga. But she adds witchcraft and blasphemy. He said it came to him in a dream. One of the ways demons can enter you if you don't have no spiritual protection is through the dreams. So a lot of people have their different interpretations of what's going on with this young man licking his tongue like a lizard and as if he has a python or an anaconda spirit. His soul left his body. That happened to me before when I was sleeping, and I saw myself sleeping, and my son was waking me up, and I was praying to God, and my soul went right back in. I woke up crying. A lot of people have different types of experiences, something like what young Pharaoh is talking about. And like I said at the beginning, Henny for your thoughts. We're not going to judge. We're not going to dismiss people who have these experiences. We want them to share, to explain as much as you can. If you have these experiences, write them down as soon as you have them. Wow. But I wanted to find that message, that comment where this guy was going in, basically saying the alien abduction story is just another way of saying he may have been raped at some point in the past. He may have been raped. Some people are asking young Pharaoh to give himself to Jesus in the comments. What's up, y'all? What's up? A lot of different. Oh, he was insulting the witches. That's very interesting too. Can't go around here insulting people like that. Now, when you say witches, do you mean the black woman? I mean, some people, he said the black woman is God. Are you saying the black woman is witches? I've heard of witches. I guess I haven't. Oh, wow. Another person says, wait a minute. An alien jacked off young Pharaoh? I'll be goddamn. Brown Mocha says, y'all think aliens don't exist? I think he's telling the truth. I don't believe every single thing he says, but there's some things he's right about. Unbelievable, y'all. But that comment must have been deleted because I saw a comment earlier where this person was saying, "Hey, this ain't nothing but him basically saying he was raped." And that there are a lot of other stories where people claim that they had been abducted, but what it really is, it may be that they were raped. That's the thing. A lot of people are sensible. A lot of people are considerate. Some people who have knowledge of certain things based on their experience, training, or their connection, or whatever, man. And it's heavy. It's like on another level of a video game, and you don't want to start telling anybody what that other level of a video game is all about, telling them where the different instruments you can find and what powers you really got on this other level, because that person hasn't finished these other levels first. They aren't even barely on level 1. And here some people are on YouTube trying to give all this information on what level 10 is about and how that's really you, and that's something you're not prepared to hear yet. So I can respect that. I can respect that. And another person says, people that have never seen a UFO or had any kind of extraterrestrial experience will never believe young Pharaoh. You can't see the air, but you know that the air exists. You see the creator, but you know she exists. You can't see the creator, they say. Black people need to elevate and realize that not everyone is schizo, that has paranormal experiences. Young Pharaoh has been going through something lately, but I do believe his story about the extraterrestrial because it happened to me too. Shout out to Naami W. A lot of people are agreeing with young Pharaoh, not dismissing young Pharaoh. They're saying this type of stuff happened to me too. And others, of course, are saying he needs to remove that grill. His teeth are too big to have a top grill. It looks better. It looks better when he wears the bottom only. And another person says, "Hey, Sarah Suit Seti, come get your man," and slap some sense into him. And another young lady is saying that the lizard people got to young Pharaoh, the lizard people. It doesn't matter what you believe, it's what you can prove. Exactly. I hear you. People have to understand that. And of course, people aren't the best at being able to prove things either. People may have experiences, but what they might lack is the ability to explain and to really share what the proof is. Some people believe in the tooth fairy. Don't mean they actually experience seeing it or talking to one. Unbelievable. He was abducted by aliens. Yeah. My brother said the same thing and was diagnosed with schizophrenia. If aliens were going to abduct someone, it wouldn't be his irrelevant behind. And another person named Classy Jewel. Shout out to Classy Jewel. Those of you in the comments that think there's no other beings in this universe outside of us on Earth should really do a little research. Even the government is admitting that they exist. Another person says, by the name of Buckwheat, said, "I believe everything that brother said. I also was abducted by aliens. My psychiatrist said that I was mentally insane after the aliens performed a lobotomy on me. They dropped me off at Roscoe's house of chicken and waffles." Isn't that interesting? Ladies and gentlemen, it's heavy over here. And like I said, there is at least one person in the chat who said that sometimes when people talk of being abducted by aliens, what they're really talking about is having possibly been raped or assaulted sexuality ways. So it's unbelievable. A lot of people are saying, hey, even TK Kirkland. Shout out to TK Kirkland. One of my favorite comedians. He's another type of Forrest Gump kind of guy. He's been all over the place. He knows everybody and all over. T.K. Kirkland may have a street named after him in New Jersey. T.K. Kirkland said, I told Pharaoh it was a black woman extraterrestrial that kidnapped him. Funny brother, T.K. Kirkland is. Funny brother. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, somewhere in these comments, someone was actually saying he may have been raped. And another person is confused about the tongue. They say, sticking out his tongue is part of his swag. Well, okay then, that ain't swag. Where the hell do you find these people? Where I'm from, the place is called Butler, a lunatic hospital. It is interesting, ladies and gentlemen, that a lot of people in these type of mental wards may be channeling other spirits. Some of these people in mental wards may actually be seeing things and experiencing things, but they're so quick to be dismissed, isolated, put over there away from people and called crazy. So he really believes it happens to him. I'm not going to tell young Pharaoh he's lying. I'm not going to tell young Pharaoh, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. I'm going to listen to anybody explaining whatever happened to them. I don't have to attach myself to it. I don't have to understand. I don't have to think it's real. I don't even go down that path. You just listen to the people, knowing at all points that, it's maybe something that people with more knowledge could interpret and and things like that. And another person is saying he didn't start acting like this, like all the way like this, until his YouTube channel got taken down. That's when he took it to another weird level. He did start saying that people were following him, maybe trying to kill him, calling different people agents that he had close to him. He was even believing other people over his baby mom with respect to his kids. That's right. And certain people he has interviews with, young Pharaoh takes on a whole different aura, and that may be part of the channeling again or shifting, whatever. I don't know. But still, like I said before, y'all, maybe you've already done some of this research, but I read in these comments that sometimes when people talk about alien abduction, that they may have been actually raped. Now, another thing is, he said that this alien was working on his 33rd vertebrae. An alien was working on his 33rd vertebrae. Now, someone in the comments says that we only have 24 vertebrae. What do you all think about the vertebrae part? How many vertebrae do we really have? He said this alien was tapping onto his 33rd vertebrae. Now, you all know, you've heard some things on my other channel that I can't go on for another week. That, there's some challenges in the brain that young Pharaoh may have, the way he spells certain things and the way he sometimes acts, which makes you think he's not as intellectual as he says he is. But I can't find the comment where the dude said he may have had a homosexual rape. Ladies and gentlemen, how many vertebrae do we have? Do we have 33 vertebrae or more, which is what it sounded like young Pharaoh was saying? You can Google that real quick, right? You can Google that. How many vertebrae make up the spine? The average person, it is 33. Wait, the average person is born with 33 individual bones that interact and connect with each other through flexible joints called facets. By the time a person becomes an adult, most adults have only 24 vertebrae because some vertebrae at the bottom end of the spine end up fusing together during normal growth and development. So, this is another issue again to remind us to ask young Pharaoh, since he's been telling this story since he's been on YouTube, how old was he or how young was he when he had this experience? How old was he? Because as I just read, that, once you develop and grow, you end up having 24 vertebrae because others fuse together. But initially, when you check it out, it's 33. And again, other people in the comments are saying this dude has been spiritually attacked. And this is heavy. This is heavy, y'all. Heavy. And many people are agreeing that they too were abducted by aliens. Abducted by aliens. Abducted by aliens. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are people who say he may have gone through that stuff. There are people who are saying he may have gone through these things. And who are we to disagree? Who are we to disagree, right? Some other person saying this is weird as fuck. I never seen him act off like this. He used to seem very intelligente. He said he's seen the aliens, to my knowledge, like 4 or 5 years ago. Okay. So that's maybe when he's still in his 20s, when he still should probably have 24 vertebrae at that point. The Mind Over Matter TV channel is got a strike, and I cannot use that for another week. I was talking about some things having to do with vaccines and immunity and people catching all these different things, and they call it a community strike. And it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? People are saying this dude's ego is out of control. Some people don't believe in demons at all. And it's making you wonder what's really happening with these people. Is it a DMT trip? No, because he's been telling this story for a while. So we cannot say he's on drugs right now. He's been telling this story for a while. And a lot of people are calling him intelligent. I don't get it either. But, I guess there's all different types of intelligence, all types of different intelligences, I guess. But some people, like I said, they're understanding of young Pharaoh, which is good. Demon possession, people are calling it. Demon possession. I also have personally met young Pharaoh in person. I have met young Pharaoh. He seemed like a real young, like sort of humble, kind of looking up, not really looking up. Also, not really sure what's around. So he may be the type to always look around at his surroundings. But I didn't get any energy like, he's a tongue licking demon back when I met him. It wasn't no long conversation. I just said, "What's up?" Many people are like, "I used to watch him all the time. I used to watch him." dark energy, people are calling it. And it's so interesting, ladies and gentlemen. But like I said, oh, maybe this is it. Because some people are saying the young pharaoh is experiencing his Saturn return, whatever that means. And here's one comment. I was telling some other YouTubers last month about a Saturn return and how it works. Some of them think it's a joke, but this is a prime example of what it looked like going through a Saturn return. Saturn return will strip you to your bare bones. Basically, young Pharaoh is going through his Saturn return. Saturn returns will bring up everything that was suppressed in your subconscious. It will heighten those self-imposed limitations and restrictions to the point where you feel stuck, confined, blocked, and restricted. Therefore, they can be recognized. Lessons will be learned behind them, and it will force you to evolve through reality checks, which is cold and harsh. It's not easy, but it is needed, this person said. And another person was like, true, true. Another person said, yeah, but some people don't make it past their Saturn return. And if they get beyond it and don't learn the lesson, they'll just be fucked. And there's nothing to have gained except for living beyond the age of 29. Saturn returns, y'all. Saturn returns. And some people would connect the word Saturn to the word Satan. And you could go run and tell that or deal with that however you like. Satan, Saturn return. He said he can channel. Who has he channeled? That's a good question. Who has he channeled? What has he channeled? When has he ever channeled? Give us some examples, right? That's what people are wanting to hear. Another person saying, hey, there's a fine line, a thin line between spirituality and insanity, apparently. This is why one has to be properly initiated. And these frauds have not been properly initiated, which is why they all going crazy. And that may be touching on something that Philly Bruja said earlier, the process of becoming initiated, or even something is, the process of knowledge of self. There's a process to do things properly. And we've said before, a lot of people go through their knowledge of self process by mistakes, making all types of mistakes, fucking up, thrown in jail, fucking up, no direction, no guidance, fucking up. And then they know themselves. They feel like they reached another level of consciousness after fucking up and fucking up and fucking up. Learning through hindsight, fucking up. What in the Python spirit is going on, y'all? What in the Python spirit? So, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't found the comment where they said this is pretty much him admitting to having been raped, but it is what it is. And I'm going to go ahead and let you all roll for the rest of the day. And hopefully you all enjoy the rest of your day out there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a very strange world out here. Very strange world out here. And you want to have proper guidance. You want to be able to properly initiate whatever you're going through. But the question is, what has he channeled? Has he channeled Nature Boy? What has he channeled? Does he channel women, the black woman? If he calls himself God and he says the black woman is God, has he channeled black woman? That's always going to be the question, ladies and gentlemen. Who has young Pharaoh actually channeled, as he admitted here, to Tasha K? And I'm going to rewind a little bit of the interview and just play that as we head on out.
Still here on the internet raising hell. No.
eyes.
No.
And tell me I'm lying.
You're lying.
That's the problem. I'm aware of something you're not. We're gonna see though.
What's up with your tongue? Why you always doing your tongue like this?
I don't know, part of my personality. I like to flick my tongue out. Part of my swag, part of my micro expression. I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm aware of something on the I'm aware of shit.
So tell me what happened when you were abducted. Before we move on.
I told your story like 5 times already.
Okay, I haven't heard this particular story. I'm sure my viewers haven't heard it. Right now. Okay, tell me.
I was on a table, and my body was on the table.
Okay.
And I was on a ship, and it was all metal, like a spoon. And I was looking down on my body, and my body was like chest down. I was looking at the back of my head, and there was some beings operating on my 33rd vertebrae, and it felt like it felt like when you take 2 wires and you touch them. And they kept going like that with my nerve. I don't know what it was. Don't have me get the line. But it was right here. And I could look all around me, but I couldn't look to the right. It was a being right here to the right. But it didn't look like me or you. I don't know what the fuck it was.
Okay.
But it was whatever it was a masculine being.
My thing is, why can't he be abducted by fine ass women with, the baddest women, right? Why can't he be abducted by sexy, gorgeous, wild type of women? Why it's got to be some masculine energy trying to operate from him from behind?
And it was talking to me telepathically. And they told me it was the captain of the ship. This is a true ass story. And they told me it was the captain of the ship. And I asked the being, like, it wouldn't identify itself though. When I asked specific questions like, where you from? It didn't answer. And I asked him, like, what you doing? We're like, what are you doing to my body? And it was like, we fixing you. And the being asked me for my permission. I gave him my permission. And then it kept touching. It kept going like this with my spine. And I kept feeling my pain increase. And I remember I was just gripping my teeth like, Argh! And it was, they say they were strengthening my nervous system so that I could channel. And I believe that because I do channel.
He do channel, and he believes it. He do channel, y'all. Your nervous system is connected to channeling, huh? Nervous system and channeling. Because I'm curious. Channeling your response to pain. The nervous system has to be oblivious to pain, I guess, when you're channeling. It's direct towards a particular end or an object, serve as a medium for. She was channeling the spirit of Billie Holiday. Like I said, sometimes when you're an actor wanting to get into character, you do this channeling, I guess, after studying different people that may be related to this character you're trying to perform. So I don't know how it works, ladies and gentlemen, but listen. I wanted to bring this video here because it's your boy, Young Pharaoh, having his experiences. And you'll listen to a bunch of people tell you about their experiences. And you have to figure out what it all means, why you're being told this, and what that person wants you to believe. And if you sit up there and believe it or not, it's all up to you. But clearly, a lot of people have not only seen UFOs, a lot of people have had this same type of abduction by what they call aliens or the Greys. And unfortunately or fortunately, a lot of these people are thrown straight into the mental hospital, mental wards, or they got yourselves a psychiatrist, or they will be laughed at, dismissed, ridiculed, and isolated. Man, I'm trying to see what's up with the toad and some of that DMT business, ayahuasca, and all that good stuff. But interesting story. Thank you all for dropping by here today. And Henny, for your thoughts. Drop a comment. Again, if you've ever channeled anything or anyone, let me know what that experience was like. Drop a comment. If you've ever had to deal with an alien in person, drop a comment. If you've ever gone through any kind of paranormal experience and what that was like for you. Because the more we hear about the stories, the more people will at least, be able to say, all right, type shit might happen. Even if you're not on drugs, type shit might happen. And then there are some, like I said before, that says there is this research out here where it's been shown that some people, when they talk about alien abduction, they actually were raped in real life. But who knows what's really going on? Shout out to the people who are confident in themselves. Shout out to you. Whether you lick your tongue out, whether you got yourself a grill and an overbite, for whatever reason, continue to be confident in who you are and telling your stories before other people, you know, tell it for you. And this is Henny for your thoughts. Thank you for coming through here today, y'all. One love. Enjoy your Sunday. Peace out. Yeah, man.